All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to title this lesson. We are in the time of judgment. This is definitely the time where Yahweh Shem Al Shai is said to pour forth his wrath, and it's being made known and manifest by the events that's taking place throughout the earth, the wickedness that we see rampant. That only, what other conclusion can you come to? That's a recipe for judgment, man. The wickedness that we see. What other conclusion can you come to? And we in the beginning stages of that judge, and it's only going to intensify, man. But all the scriptures talk about the days of Noah and the matter of fact, let's get that real quick in the book of St. Matthew 24. Matter of fact, let me get it in. I just had it in Luke 17 because it talks about the days of Noah as well as the days of Lot, man. And before I get this, because it also talks about the time of Noah being a time of judgment. Let's get that real quick before we get started. So Ecclesiastes Sirach, chapter 44, verse 17, it says, Noah was found perfect and righteous in the time of wrath. He was taken in exchange for the world. So it tells you that Noah, grace is found in the eyes of the Lord upon Noah. He walked with the Most High, and he was preserved by the way of being in that ark. But it says in the time of wrath. Why? Because of the wickedness that was taking place. And the only way for the Lord to be appeased was to send forth that flood, man. But guess what? That's once again, we in that time. Yahweh Shema Shai is about to pour forth his wrath, man. The only way the Lord will be pleased, will be appeased, is when he destroyed his place, man. But we seeing the same thing. It says, therefore he was left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. See? But you can see the time of Noah was also known as the time of wrath. We once again in that time, man. We once again in that time. So let's get this real quick. In the book of St. Luke 17 and verse 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. See? And when you go into that time of Noah, it talks about how violence, it was increased. Only the imaginations of the people was only evil. What other solution you can come with? You couldn't vote nobody in because it was a system. This king come and set things right. No, Yahweh Shem Al Shai had to destroy that system, man. That old world. Just like how he's going to do in this time. This world right here. That world. Hey, because it tells about how that same word, matter of fact, let's get it. The book of 2 Peter 3 in verse 7. I started at 6. It says, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water perish. So it was an old world. It was a system that had building structures, you know. I ain't telling they probably had roadways. I know, but it wasn't as primitive as people think. They hear the ancient world, they think of rubbing sticks together to make a fire and clay pots. But it was a system, man. They had certain technology back then. Why you think it's still certain relics and structures are still up to this day? Instead of now with this devil, shit don't even hold up 18 months here. But the point, it was a previous world before that flood. It says, but the heavens and the earth which are now, which is talking about now, man. Because even in the time when it was written, the Romans was in power. That was the heavens at that time. But guess what? How fitting this is meant to be read today. It says now, because the same motherfuckers is in power, man. It says, but the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. See, so this same word, the same testimony, man, was meant for this time, reserved unto this time right here. Show you that, or that he said reserved unto fire against the day of judgment. We in that time, man. With Yahweh Shema Shai is about to pour forth his wrath, man. And like I said, what other conclusions can you come to as we see wickedness runs rampant throughout the earth, folly? What else could take place? So going back to the book of St. Luke 17, because it talks about the days of Noah. But when you read it, continue on, verse 28, it says, likewise, as also as it was in the days of Lot. See? So we know in the days of Lot, concerning Sodom, Gomorrah, the 5 neighboring cities. And, and they was pretty much known for those acts. Those abominable acts, man. So it says it's going to be just like the time of Noah as well as in the time of Lot. And don't we see that? You got all this wickedness, as I mentioned, the scripture talks about the days of Noah, violence ran through the earth. As well as you see the so-called white man, he is the sword himself. This man is the embodiment of violence. That's why every household got a gun. You will marvel if you miss a day, in the news hearing about war. But it says in the days of Lot also. So you have homos, old and young, as the scripture says, just out here, man. And guess what? Those were just examples. So we seeing everything in its perfection now. Matter of fact, before I go back, let's go to 2 Peter, the 2nd chapter. Let's start at verse 5. It says, and spare not the old world, but save Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. See, so the old world wasn't spared. And Noah prophesied, or that tells you that he built the ark and condemned the world. It says, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes. So as you can see, you got the days of Noah, and we are as well as in the days of Lot, man. But it says, in turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. See? And we seeing that after part. Those that after is living ungodly. So what this nigga got laws and legislations on the books. There's a whole month dedicated to these motherfuckers. And the motherfucker dare you to say something. But as you can see, concerning the time of Noah, what happened? It was a time of judgment as well. We're reading the time of Lot. It said likewise, as in the days of Lot. Guess what? That was a day of judgment. That was a time of judgment, man. That was brought forth, which Noah prophesied that flood, and Lot prophesying as well. It talks about how he was at the gates. So going back, St. Luke 17:28 said, likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, and they did other things as well. And you can go and you read the book of Genesis, the 19th chapter. But as you can see, concerning the time of Noah and the time of Lot, we once again in them times. And that means judgment is nigh. It says, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Ain't that's going to happen in this time? It rained just like Noah. It rained in the time of Noah. It also rained in the time of Lot, but it was with fire. And that's what Yahweh Shema Shai is going to bring, that strange rain, which is those thermonuclear missiles. They're not in the news for nothing. So I'm just going to read the title of this article, and I'm just going to wrap it up. But it just shows you that we in a time of judgment. So this is from Snoops, which Snoops is they try to cast a lot of information down. They like to kind of, throw it, water it down, or just say it's false, or whatever comes out. They try to go with the flow of the mainstream views. So, but this one right here, this is clear and obvious. So it says, did a church that embraces LGBTQ plus people burn down after a lightning strike? It said first congressional Church of Spencer in Massachusetts was indeed destroyed by lightning fire on June 2nd, 2023. So pretty much this church that agrees with the LGBT XYZ, and there's certain information that says there was an actual wedding going on. Some just says that they were just having a regular old sermon, or whatever the case may be. But that was Yahweh Shema Shai sending that lightning, man. This church that supports the LGBT, was burned down. Well, guess what, man? That fire gonna increase to where the whole landmass of America is gonna be destroyed, man, on fire. But it's just one of those subtle, things to look at and show you that we in a time of judgment, man. Yahweh Shema Shai gonna destroy all this wicked ass shit, man. But I'm gonna end off on this. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, and verse 12. It reads, "For man also knoweth not his time." And as you might reserve it to an individual. Of course, you don't know when you're gonna die. But that also can be on a bigger scale concerning empires and rulerships. Talks about how the Lord measured and numbered the times. Even with Babylon, it tells they have been found and wanting. Pretty much the time was up. It says, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. And that's what these people are compared to. Just they pretty much is prey, man. It says, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time. And we are in an evil time. bad times that we're in. And it begins with the wickedness. Yes, of course, you got food shortages going on, and the beasts changing their place, which that scripture is coming more and more into fruition. The beasts changing their place. You got the power outages. These things that's bringing forth distress and anguish. But guess what? Something had to kick that off. This wickedness that we see throughout the planet Earth. This is the solution for it. It talks about that in Sirach, the 40th chapter. How it talks about blood, death, and, famine, the sword. All these things was created for the wicked, and for their sakes the flood came. Man, come on, man. So yeah, you see these troublesome times, the things that bring forth distress and anguish, but the initial reaction, the cause of it was the wickedness, man. So it's just going back to the time of Noah, and likewise as in the days of Lot, because of those actions, those abominable ways, outlooks, and thoughts of these people, it's going to bring forth the judgment. So that, hey, this is one of those signs that we are in the end, man. Judgment is not, but it says, so are the sons of men snared in the evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. And that's how it's going to come, sudden, man. And you ain't in the spirit of watching. You ain't seeing it. Because guess what? A couple months back, there was a gas crisis. Gas, $4-5 a gallon. Motherfucker hurt. People forgot about that. And it was a sudden. People fell apart. Nigga called off 3 days after the week, and niggas were reduced to stealing gas and taking goddamn catalytic converters and shit. But they were, they still had the TV. This nigga still had to watch the basketball game, water grub up. But suddenly, these things gonna be taken away. Then what? Then you gonna know about Yahweh Shai. So Hakim, I just hold to edify and like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect that teaching the word in all true faith and sincerity. DTA, Abba, soon, very soon.